Hello and welcome back to schoollife.com. This is your 10th tutorial on web design. In our last session, we made our navigation bar to be responsive so that each time we minimize our page, our navigation link is going to disappear and this icon is going to come up. And each time we restore it, the icon disappears and our navigation link shows. So in this session, what we are going to be doing is each time we minimize, the icon appears, and when we click on the icon, we want our navigation link to come out, because currently now, if we should minimize our work, our website, and we click on this icon, nothing happens. So that's what we're going to be working on in this section. So let's go to our code editor. So inside our index.html file, right, and in our nav div, okay, we're going to be adding another class. So we're going to be giving it another value called, let's say mobile view, okay, because once we're working on mobile view, you can give it any name actually. So for the purpose of the tutorial, the name of our class and the value of the class is going to be mobile view. So you give it a class and save. Then we're going to copy it. Now we're going to style it. We go to our index to our style.css inside our media query of 600px of maximum width 600 px and pixel. Let's apply a style to it. So we are going to be calling these class names, the two of them. So we are going to be concatenating them. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So we are going to be calling this first, the nav div. We put it here and we put a dot, no space, and we're going to be calling this mobile view, okay, because we want to uniquely identify that class mobile view. Then I'll open curly brackets. Then if you should save, we have not applied any property to it yet, so it's still nothing is showing. So we're going to be doing this. Then we're going to be calling our anchor tags. All right, this anchor tag. So we're going to be saying nav div plus mobile view. So we are calling the anchor tag still, okay. So the nav div plus the mobile view, then the anchor tag. So we're going to say display block, okay, because previously we did this links div a display none, okay. We made use of this. We say we are making all this invisible, all right, but this time around we want to make it visible, okay, using nav div, then it will make it visible. And we can actually go ahead and change this link div to nav div if we want, okay. So let's just test that out and see. So if we should refresh, you see it displays in the mobile view. And if we should change this link div now, just to test, instead of the links div, we change it to nav div a and take this off. Let me comment it out and save. You see the display is off. So let's bring this back and turn on the display. All right, so I'm going to tell you why we're doing that. Just follow. We refresh and it's here now. So we're going to be applying a border. We need a border now because I want to show something. Let's apply a border to this our links div that is holding all our navigation links. So put the full stop because it's a class. Then we open with, say border 1 pixel solid, then red. I like to use red because it's almost obvious. So if we should refresh, we see where the border is. So we are going to be giving this a width of 100% because we want it to float all over this page, to occupy this whole space. So we'll just say width 100%. All right, You can see 100%. So it has taken everything to the left. Then we'll come back to this um, nav, div plot, mobile view, then anchor tag. And we're going to say, we're going to align the text to the center. Okay. Then we'll say text align center. If you should save, let's see the results. You see it has come to the center now. Then we need to take this guy to the top. If you look at our go site, it's at the top, right top. So all we need to do is come to this a anchor tag icon bar, because this is where we displayed it initially. Okay, if we should turn this to none, you'll see that it disappears. Oh, sorry, that's not our actually. Okay. Okay, it did not disappear because over here, this nav div plus mobile view anchor tag is saying display block. But if I want it to really disappear, all I need to do is to just put an important property to it, add an important property, sorry, important. That is to telling it to override any other styling that has been given to it. Once I say important, it's going to disappear. Okay, in case you're trying to style something that another property is already rendering a styling to, you can override it to the improper importance property. So we'll go back, we'll leave it at block. All right. So what we want to do now is to move it to the top right. So what we're going to say is position, given a position of absolute, because we want it to move absolutely to anywhere we want it to. Position absolute. Then we'll say top 0. Okay. Refresh. You see it at the top 0. Don't want it at the right side. So we'll say no margin, no padding at the right side. Say right 0. Then we close. Once we refresh, you can see it. Okay. So now that's it. So why this red is going off is because we applied a white background each time we hover over this our icon. Look at it here. So a icon hover, white background. Okay. So that's why that red is going off. The red border is going off. So don't panic if you should see it. So we are going to fix that. So one way to do that is to apply a padding here of, let's say, 10px, so that the background won't be that big anymore. Okay, you see. So reduce the padding so that the background won't affect this border, but we don't even need the border, so we are taking it off. So we'll take off the border. This is the border here. Okay, so this is looking nice already. Just that we need one more thing to add a functionality whereby once we click on this, it disappears. And we don't want it to be in such a way whereby once we minimize our screen for our navigation links to be visible. We want something like this. Okay, once we minimize, we just want to see the icon. When we click on the icon, we want the navigation links to come out. When we click on it, we want it to disappear. So we're going to be adding this functionality using what we call JavaScript. Okay, so JavaScript is a programming language which we are going to be using. We're going to be using it. So just be patient, give yourself time to understand all this. Okay, so how do we add our JavaScript? So now to add our JavaScript, we use a tag called the script. So I'm going to be writing it inside here. Okay, the script tag, just like this. It's just like the brother of CSS or something like that. So our CSS, we have our style. Okay, this is internal JavaScript actually. So we have internal JavaScript, and we also have the external JavaScript. So I'm adding our JavaScript internally. instead of creating a separate file and adding our JavaScript functionality. So just pay attention to this. Okay, so add our script, and we're going to be adding a function that's going to be triggering that to toggle the button. Okay, so to add a function, we write function. Okay, then we'll give our function a name. So we're going to be using the name of our function as nav. Okay, let's say mobile view as our function name. Mobile view. Let's use mobile view. Mobile view. So you can use any name. Okay, just use that mobile view for now. Okay, while I'm saying the mobile view, okay, you can see it's different from this one. This one has a dash, while this one doesn't have a dash. So we continue. Then we use two brackets, then our curly brackets. So our function is going to be inside of here. All right. So we're going to be writing, declaring a variable first. A variable holds information. Let's just see it as a folder or a container where you store things. So we are going to be creating a variable where we'll be storing an information. Okay, so the variable name we're going to be using is nav id. Okay, nav id. We'll now say equal to, so the information we want to store inside this variable of nav id is this. So we want to say when this function runs, okay, on this document, we want to get the ID. Okay, we want to get an ID. So we'll now say get elements by ID. And you need to note all these are case sensitive. Anywhere you see capital letter, put capital letter. Like now we have documents in small letter, then full stop, then get in small letter. The E is in capital letter. Write it that way. Then the B is in capital letter, while the I is in capital letter. So get element by ID. So we're going to be adding an attribute called ID here. Okay. So we're going to give it the name of nav dash ID like this. So we want to get this ID. So we're going to copy it and put it inside here. Then we close it with a semicolon. Okay, so we want to trigger this div. We want to add functionality to this div. Just pay close attention. You're going to understand what I'm trying to do. So now we're going to say if this variable, okay, which is the value. So we are getting this. If this variable, the variable class name, okay, all right, is equal to 3, we're going to use 3 equal to sign, okay, because 1 equal to sign is declaring, is using it to store, okay, the value. This is the value, is storing this value inside of this variable. Okay, now, so now we want to compare the value of this variable with this is equal to double quotes nav div. Okay, so it should execute some function. So now this line, let me explain it to you. Say if nav id, the class name, which is this class name. So let's take this off, please. This mobile view. All right, if the class name of this id, which is this id is the same thing as this, all right, if the class name in this id, which is here, now this is the class name, is equals to nav div, which, yes, we have it here. The class name, the value of this class is nav div. Okay, execute this function. So this is the function it's going to execute. We're going to say nav id, then the class name Like this is our right class name JavaScript plus equal to, so mobile view. All right. So what we're trying to do is this, that if this document loads and this function is triggered, we want to get this element ID, the element that have the ID of nav ID, which is this. Okay, these elements have the ID of nav ID, and we want to check if the class name of these elements, which have the ID of nav ID, if the value of the class name is equals to nav div, right? So we want to add another class name to it. That's why we say plus equal to mobile view. All right. So else, let's copy this. Else, let the class name still be nav div. Okay. Let it maintain its class name nav div. So we'll take off this plus sign because we don't want to add any name to it. So now this is our function, okay, our JavaScript function, which is going to help us achieve that. I'll explain this in a visual way, don't worry. So now, if we should do this and go back to our page and refresh, why did this disappear? It disappeared because the class name which was here before, mobile view, is no longer there. So we want anytime we click our icon, we want JavaScript to help us to attach this class name mobile view to this class here, so that the styling will apply to it, the CSS styling, which has nav div plus mobile view plus a, is going to render. Okay, so I'm going to show you that very soon. So how do we do that now? We are going to add another attribute inside our icon, this anchor tag here. Okay, so we have a class of icon, but we're going to add another attribute called onClick. So whenever we click, we want to run this function onClick. So we want to run this function mobile view. Yeah. Okay. So anytime we click this icon, let this function mobile view take effect. Let it trigger it. So you save your work and refresh. Once we click this icon, okay, you see our navigation link is displaying. We click it again, it goes up. We click on it, it displays. Okay, so I'm going to show you the magic that is happening at the back end of this. It's actually a front end, but behind this scene. Let's put it that way, behind the scene. So click on your right click on your mouse, click on inspect. Okay, so now you can see my page is displaying the source code. Now I want to expand this. Click on this to expand. Okay, you can see. Let's refresh. I don't want this to be displaying. Click on this body, click on nav to expand, and click on this again to expand. Now look at our class here. We just have nav div. All right. So the JavaScript code we wrote is, instead we click on this, we want to attach another class inside this nav div, a class of mobile view. So once I click on this, okay, you see mobile view is displaying. So there's an error actually. So let me figure it out. So I figured out the error. So you might not notice, but you can see. Let's close this. If I should click, okay, we have expanded. So concentrate on this place, this nav div here. If I should click on this icon the first time, it doesn't change. You see, I have to click on it again before it changes to nav div mobile view. You see. So the error there is over here we have a space, but down here we don't have a space. This nav div. So we're going to be taking off that space. Okay. That was a typo error. So take off this space because the compiler or the system is counting both the space. It's comparing. The one we are comparing inside the function doesn't have a space, while the class outside the function was having a space. So close the space and save, then refresh. So once we refresh, then we expand the body, expand the nav, then expand this also. So look at our nav div. Once I click on our icon, once I clicked, you can see it has toggled the class mobile view into it. So once I click on it again, it disappears. It returns to the original class. So this is it for this tutorial. You have learned how to make a navigation bar and how to make it responsive also. So okay, the placement of our script will always be, we call it script, JavaScript. So that's why it's called JavaScript. It's always a script. So we place it just before our closing body tag. So it's okay here. So our mobile view is working perfectly. All right, minimize, click on it, you see. All right, so this will be all for this tutorial. In the next section, we'll be talking on how to create our slide. Okay, this moving slideshow. That's what we'll be creating in our next tutorial. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel at School Life, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.